Hey everyone, Digital David here. Today in this video, I'm going to be checking out the Acer Aspire 5 laptop. I did receive this product to review, but any opinion expressed in this video is strictly my own. You can see the retail box and packaging right here. Check it out. Everything looks great. We have our product information, our Windows 11 sticker right there. You can also see some of our product specific tech specs right here. So this is available in multiple versions depending on the RAM, storage capacity, and the CPU that you want. Our particular model number is the A515-R6-R3UB, and this one features our Ryzen 3 3350U CPU with quad-core processor. We have a 15.6-inch Full HD 1080p IPS slim bezel display. We have our AMD Radeon mobile graphics, 4 gigs of DDR4 and 120 gigabyte PCIe NVMe SSD. Now let's go ahead, let's open it up and look at the contents. Here are all the contents. First up, you can see we have our product literature right here, from our warranty info to our disclosures and disclaimers. Then you can see we have our customer service and contact card with the Acer phone number if you ever have any questions to call them first. Next, you can see we have our setup guide right here with 3 simple steps to get everything going. Plug in the charger, then plug in the charger to your laptop, and then turn it on. Same information again repeated in multiple languages. Next, you can see we have the charger itself right here, very small and compact, so really easy to travel with. Next, you can see they provide us with a hard drive upgrade kit, which is cool. If you want to swap anything out or upgrade your storage, they provide you with everything that's needed, from the screws to our bracket and our connector. Last but not least, with the laptop itself, let's go ahead, let's look at that in more detail. Here's the laptop up close, check it out. Everything looks great. So front and center at the top, we have the Acer logo and branding. Here it is from the back side, our hinge for our display. Here it is from the front side. Now let's go ahead, let's look at it from the bottom. So check it out, you can see our ventilation for our fan and our cooler right there. Screw so we can remove the back cover, more product information, nice rubber feet that it rests on. Now we can look at it from the right side. So we have our USB 2.0 port, our indicator lights, our Kensington security lock. You can see our headphone jack right here for speaker and line out as well. We can flip it around to the other side. You can see our power port, Ethernet, HDMI 2.0. We have 2 USB 3.0 ports. These are 3.2 Gen 1, and we also have a 3.2 Gen 1 USB Type-C port. Now let's go ahead and open it up. All right, let's open this laptop up. Ooh, looks really nice. So you can see we have a nice full-size keyboard. It's backlit as well. We got our trackpad with our fingerprint sensor. Our Aspire 5 quick notes right here. Thin design, aluminum top cover, narrow bezel. We have Wi-Fi 6 ultra-fast wireless speeds, IPS display for our nice wide viewing angles, and I'll add color accuracy. We also have our HDMI port. You can see our Ryzen 3 sticker and our AMD graphics sticker right there. This also has Alexa built in. And check out this display. Look at this hinge. We can bend it all the way back and we're not even breaking it or anything like that. So that's really cool. But in case you're wondering, that's as far back as it goes. We actually have the Aspire logo and branding right here too. And you can see we have our full HD 1080p sticker. Now let's go ahead, charge it up and power it on. All right, so we got the laptop all set up. We configured Windows. I already went ahead and downloaded some programs. So let's go ahead, let's sign in using the fingerprint sensor. So check it out. Look at how quick that is. It's very fast and responsive, and you can set it up with multiple fingers. Here we go. You can see we're now at our main desktop right now. The first thing I want to show you guys is the default storage. Let's see how much space is actually usable on the included M.2 SSD. So I took a screenshot of our storage before I went ahead and downloaded any of our benchmarking programs. So out of the box, we have 118 gigabytes usable out of the advertised 128 gigs. And you can see currently, by default with Windows 11, we're using 32.6 gigabytes, and we have 85.4 gigabytes of free space on this laptop. Continuing on with the SSD, I went ahead and conducted 2 benchmarking tests. So first up, we have Crystal Disk Mark on the screen. You can see our max read speed was 932 megabytes per second, and our max write speed was 296 megabytes per second. Then looking at the ASSD results, these are typically lower, and you can see very similar though. We have 838 megabytes per second for our read speed, and we have 290 megabytes per second for our write speeds. needs. Next up, let's go ahead and let's talk about the display. So this features a 15.6-inch IPS panel. Typically, when you're looking at displays, an IPS panel is going to be known most for its color accuracy as well as the viewing angles. So with this particular laptop, since the screen folds basically 180 degrees with the keyboard, it's great that we can have those crazy viewing angles and still be able to see without too much distortion using this laptop. Now, in regards to performance, you can see this is a 1920 by 1080p full HD display with the 60 Hertz refresh rate. So we're showing 60 FPS on the display right now, and you can see how that's going to look if you wanted to try and attempt to game with this laptop. You can see our UFO going up at the top. Obviously, it looks a lot smoother than 30 FPS or 15 FPS, but there's still definitely going to be some motion blurring. At this price point, you wouldn't expect the best display anyways, especially for a laptop like this that I would say is geared more towards casual users, students, just general productivity work, checking your email, browsing the web, than using this for competitive gaming. Now we're going to look at some of those popular sites you might be browsing. So first up, we're looking at YouTube right here. Pay attention to the gesture controls that we're using. This laptop is very responsive and the display looks really nice. So really happy scrolling content on here. You can see we're able to read everything. It's clear and crisp, which is important. Having that full HD resolution on a screen this size is really nice. We've packed a lot of pixels in there. So it's not the end of the world that it's not a higher resolution due to the 15.6-inch size of this display, but it's definitely at a sweet spot right here with the resolution that we have and the performance that we get out of it. Next, you can see we have Amazon right here. So it's really easy to browse and you can look at all the different items available, do your shopping, watch videos, do your shopping, and you can read the news. We have The Verge pulled up right here so you can see what it's like to browse news articles and content. Let's go ahead, let's select one. So let's just choose this one. And then you can see everything's loaded great as you would expect. It's really clear and crisp. Super responsive, no issues at all. Everything looks very accurate, the colors as you would expect, and very responsive. This laptop is also equipped with Alexa built in. Let's go ahead, let's take a look at that really quick. So the app's already on the laptop for you right out of the box. You just need to sign into your account or create a new account if you want to start using voice control. So let's go ahead, let's tell it to turn off all of our studio lights. Alexa, turn off Basement Studio. Look at how fast that was. Alexa, turn on Basement Studio. Check that out. Super responsive and really convenient to have built right into our computer. Now we're testing out the built-in webcam right here. So check it out. This is what it's gonna look like if you want to use it to take a photo. And you can see it's doing a good job tracking with my face, which is pretty cool. Obviously, you can see the exposure is taking its sweet time to get it calculated properly, but we kind of have a harsh environment here. We got a lot going on with the blacks and whites and a really bright studio light off to the side. But hopefully that helps you. Let's go ahead, let's snap a photo. So there we go. Let's go ahead, let's pull it up. You can see the image quality right here. Not too bad. Now let me show you guys our settings for the camera. So check it out. So 1280 by 720, 0.9 megapixels. That's going to be our highest resolution there. We can go down if we want to 0.3 or 0.2. And then for video, it's going to be a 720p video as well. So you can see 30 FPS. And then we have our 60 or 50 Hertz for our flicker reduction. Now let's go ahead, let's take a quick video. So here we go. All right, we're taking a video right now. Check it out. This is what it's going to look like if you want to use this camera for your Zoom calls, maybe some remote learning. You can get a feel for the 720p image quality right here, and you're listening to the raw mic audio. So this is what's going to sound like coming out of the laptop if you guys want to use this laptop for your calls and your video conferences. This does have dual microphones built in. So we'll go over here for a second, and we'll go over here to this side, and we'll just clap and make a little bit of noise. but you guys can get a feel for the video quality and the audio quality for this laptop. So now it's time to take a look at our AMD Ryzen 3 3350U CPU. First up, we benchmarked it with Cinebench. You can see with R23 on the screen. We got a multi-core score of 2427 and a single core score of 509. We have some rankings right here, but they're not the most accurate due to these processors not really being equivalent. So let's go ahead, let's look at CPU Monkey and see how we fared. So with our score, you can see we fall in the range right here between the i5 and the i7. So check it out. We have a couple of Intel Core i3, i5, and i7 mobile CPUs, as well as some Intel Celeron processors. You can see our AMD down here, the 3000G. Let's go up. You can see some similar results. We have the Ryzen 7 Pro 2700U and just the regular 2700U, finishing above what we got benchmark-wise. Then you can see some more Intel CPUs as well. But that's what we're competing with at this price point and the performance that we get. Next up, you can see our Geekbench 5 results right here. We got a single core score of 684 and a multi-core score of 2157. You can view our system information right here. And then we have a breakdown of our single core performance, so check that out. Let's keep looking at the rest of those results. So you can see the rest of our single core scores. And then here's our multi-core performance again, 2157, with a breakdown of each data point that they tested and those results. Same thing, what does that mean? Let's go ahead, let's compare it to other similar CPUs. So again, our score was 2157, and you can see where it falls in line right here. So we have 2155 for the i7-960, and then we have our 2166 for our i7-2820QM CPU. But we'll scroll down a little bit, you can see the Intel CPUs it's competing with. There's a Ryzen 3 2300U. So an improvement from that one. Let's go ahead, let's look up a little bit. A lot of Intel on here. There's another AMD. But you can see some of those have 8 cores versus the 4 that we have. And then here's the 2500U, finished higher than us. That's the Ryzen 5. And then here's the Ryzen 7 2700U. So you can see some of the CPUs, there's a lot of them within range of this CPU. Next up, just for fun, I decided to download Adobe Premiere Pro, and I opened up a previous 4K video review that I have. This video's around 7 minutes, full 4K. We currently have our render preview set to full as well. Now, disclaimer here, I edit these videos over the server on my network using 10 gig Ethernet. Currently, our connection is limited to 1 gig due to our 1 gig Ethernet port on this laptop. So I have Task Manager pulled up too, so you guys can see the CPU and the memory and our Ethernet right here. Chances are the biggest bottleneck's going to be our memory first. We only got 4 gigs of RAM, 3.4 gigabytes usable, and we're not even playing the video right now, and we're already at 2.2 gigs used. So let's go ahead, let's push play. And you can see there's a delay. But any opinion expressed in this video is strictly my own. You can see the video's really choppy. But check out our Ethernet as well. 50-watt motor, long runtime up to 40 minutes. We have a multi-floor brush. So the CPU's maxed out at 100. Our RAM is at 82. To a handheld vac. I also want to point out this features smart sense. So we're going to stop that right there. So that's about what I expected. Now watch what happens though. We should be able to see pretty drastic improvements. Let's go to half. Let's see if that helps at all. Technology, so it's able much better. How dirty your floor is and optimize the suction and runtime for your vacuum. Now let's go ahead. So what's interesting is our CPU is still maxed out completely, but our memory has gone down a little bit. And you can see our Ethernet's right there, just plugging and chugging along. We could definitely use a little bit more bandwidth. Put it up and look at the contents. Here are all the contents. First up, so it's choppy again. Product literature right here. So we have our quick start guide walking us through key features and details. Let's stop it again. And now if we go down a quarter, that should be even better. To get our vacuum set up and ready to use. Man, it's still
On the
maxed
backside,
out
there's
though.
some troubleshooting information for you in their customer service and contact info.
Our memory's sky high now.
Instruction manual available in multiple languages covering.
So you can see 4K video editing on this particular laptop is not going to be ideal by any means. Thankfully, with that M.2 drive, that's going to help, but unfortunately, we still need a more powerful CPU and definitely some more memory. 8 gigs would be great, 16 would be fantastic, but again, with that being said, this is going to be a laptop more for general use as opposed to specific use like content creating, video editing, or anything like that. Chances are, if you're watching this video, that is not what you're anticipating to do with this particular laptop. So now it's time to go ahead and test out the built-in speaker quality. We're going to play a couple of seconds of the song Unstoppable by Music Chef off the album Level Up. Let's go ahead, let's give it a listen. Now we're going to play a couple seconds of another song titled Keep It Up off the album Tropics. So for a laptop at this price point, the speakers are about what you'd expect. Now with that being said, in regards to the design, the speakers are facing the bottom of the laptop. So when you're on a surface like this, or if you're holding it in your lap, which I tend to do, I like to sit on the couch with my laptop, I feel like the sound gets muffled. So I would like to see in the future, the speakers being moved to the top above the keyboard if possible. I think that would give us a better listening experience. So now you can see we're going to play a game of Fortnite on this laptop. I know it's not a gaming laptop, but I thought I'd show you nonetheless. So we got 1920 by 1080p for our resolution, 60 FPS in medium for our graphics quality. Let's go back into the game and let's check it out. So here we go. We just landed. Oh, I don't know how to even game on a laptop. Oh man, without having a keyboard and a mouse, this is crazy. All right. Oh, wow. What the heck? All right. So you can see the performance right here. Definitely going to have some lag and some stuttering, as I stuttered right there. Oh, man. I got to get a gaming mouse. This is crazy. Kind of fun. I like the challenge. Oh, close. Can we get lucky here? Oh, no. Uh-oh, this guy's going up. Good job, teammate. Oh, I gotta reload. Good job, buddy. All right, how we doing here? There's a sniper there. No! Come on! Oh, it's so laggy! Good job, teammate. Can we get him? The first kill on the laptop and we couldn't do it. So many bad guys. Come on. Got it. Oh no, I didn't even get the kill. Come on. 67, come on! Got him! Let's go! Oh, I knew we weren't gonna make it. Let's go, baby! Come on. Nice. Oh, we took some heavy fire there. Dang it. Rip, we got second place, but no big deal. Honestly, guys, gaming on this laptop, I wasn't even expecting it to do as well as it did. Obviously, we could tweak those settings further. We could drop the resolution if we wanted. We could change the FPS values. So it's actually bearable to play a game on this laptop with 4 gigs of RAM and our 4-core CPU from AMD. So that's a big testament to the Radeon graphics that are included with our processor. So overall, I know it's not going to be like you're on a console or a gaming PC, nor should it be at this price point with the features that are provided, but I actually can't believe that it was bearable, especially if you get a gaming mouse or you want to use a controller. You're actually going to be able to casually game a little bit on a PC like this. Next up, I wanted to show you guys that this does feature a backlit keyboard, which is fantastic. I really like how the keys look and the nice white light that we have. So it's really an enjoyable experience to type on this keyboard, especially in a low light environment or in the dark. We have that nice lit up keyboard. Now let's talk about upgrades and repairs with this laptop. So you can see I removed the 11 screws from the back of the laptop, and then you just gently take a little pry tool like you see here, maybe like a guitar pick if you have one of those at home, and just gently pry the back cover off. Once you do, this is what you'll be looking at. So first up, we have our SK Hynix M.2 drive. I was curious the brand of the drive. You can see we have room for an additional stick of RAM if we want to upgrade that. I think that would be a worthwhile upgrade. Next, you can see we have our Wi-Fi card right here, and we have our 2.5-inch drive bay. Again, they include all the screws and the bracket that you need. You just need to provide the drive that you want. So I grabbed an extra drive I have lying around right here. What we have to do now is we have to take 4 screws, fasten the bracket to the drive. Then we're going to go ahead, we're going to line it up like you see right here, and take 4 more screws and fasten everything in place. The last step is to connect this ribbon cable. So how do we do that? Well, it's recommended to go ahead and disconnect the battery from the motherboard right here to de-energize everything. Then you're gonna have to remove the Wi-Fi card with 1 screw so you can get in there to pry that white tab back so you can fully put the ribbon cable in. And then you're going to lock it and snap it shut, and that's it. It's that simple. Now it's time to put the cover back on. So overall, it's nice that we do have room to repair as needed, update and upgrade our RAM or our storage if we want. We could even swap out and upgrade our M.2 drive. So now let me share through my final thoughts after using the Acer Aspire 5 laptop. First, let's go over some of the features that I really enjoyed, and then we'll talk about some of the features I want to see improved in the future. So first up, I really kind of wrote this laptop off in regards to performance due to the specs that we have, but I gotta say it was more capable than I initially gave it credit. Obviously, we could limp our way through a game of Fortnite, which was pretty cool. Technically, if I really needed to, I could probably edit a 4K video. It would take way more time than I'm typically used to, and you might have to use some proxies, really, dial back the resolution. But technically, if push came to shove, you could do it to some degree. But with that out of the way, let's talk about the display. I'm really happy with the screen size, the fact that it's flexible, I think that's pretty cool, and the fact that it's 1080p. I feel like we have enough pixels that I'm satisfied. I don't want to spend any more money for more pixels than I find necessary, and in this case, this display is great. Nice IPS panel that's plenty bright as well. Next up, I really like that at this price point, we get a backlit keyboard. That's a top-notch feature, especially for somebody like myself that likes to compute while I'm watching TV and the lights are off, that sort of thing. Next, for me personally, I really like the trackpad and its responsiveness and how clicky it is. Same can be said with the responsiveness of the fingerprint sensor. It does a really nice job signing in. I haven't had any issues at all. Also, I want to point out this does feature Wi-Fi 6, so if you have a Wi-Fi 6 router, you'll enjoy some of those faster Wi-Fi speeds. And lastly, this is easily upgradable if you want to swap out the M.2 drive, add some more RAM, or add a 2.5-inch SSD. They really make it easy for you. So now let's talk about what I want to see improved from this laptop in the future. The first thing is battery life. I found I got around 4 to 4.5 hours of heavy use with this laptop, not the 8 hours advertised. That's going to be typically like your standby mode. But if you're not doing a lot of heavy and intensive work, you'll definitely see closer to the 8-hour mark versus the 4-hour mark. But I'd say realistically, plan in your mind somewhere between 3 to 5 hours, depending on how you're going to use the laptop. Next up, I'd like to see the webcam improved. Obviously, let's bump that up to 1080p, but that's not as important as having better image processing, especially because a lot of you will be using this for school or working from home. Next up, as always, I'd love more RAM and a better CPU, but I know with some of those changes, the price point changes and the laptop takes on a whole different meaning than what it's currently made for. But I'd love to see that improved. Maybe 8 gigs of RAM at a minimum. That would make this a fantastic laptop. Lastly, this is my own personal pet peeve, but I'd like to see the speaker placement moved from the bottom to between the keyboard and the screen, because when I use this on the couch, which is my favorite place and spot to use a laptop, it really muffles the speakers when they're resting on my legs. So if we could put that up top, it would be a much more enjoyable experience. Overall, though, the value is there. If you're just looking for a simple laptop to do some basic computing, you'll be impressed with what you're able to accomplish with the Acer Aspire 5.